It's time for Turducken. It's time. It is time. It's time. A bunch of you love this. A few of you hate this, but it's time for. And it's time for Turducken. Turducken.
Turducken. Turducken.
Turducken. Turducken. You know what turducken is. That's where we take a turkey, and inside the turkey we put a duck. Inside the duck we put a chicken. It's a great recipe. It tastes great, but it's a really interesting way to tell. Let's take a look at some RV and trailer turduckens.
Bill N. wanted to thank us for posting a pic of his dad camper on the Buick chassis, and he got a kick out of seeing it on the site. So tell your dad we said hello. Here's another amusing rig that he found in Montana. Let's take a look at this thing. I was wondering what was going on here, and it appears that there is a trailer-like body that's attached to the back of this Suzuki, but with a single caster. So that makes it not technically a double trailer. Essentially, the Suzuki and the trailer and the boat on top are all one single official trailer. Definitely Turducken. Large Marge sent us this clip. I saw this one on Instagram myself as well. I think this might be in India. It's definitely South Asia, right? But here you've got tricycle Turducken.
Shit, bro. Do you want to go on and go and listen? Mama, say.
I can think of no earthly reason that they're doing this, but it looks funny as heck. John C. sent this in. This is some Turducken he actually made inside the Snow Runner game. So this is actually gameplay Turducken. He'd like to point out that these are all 3 Ford trucks, 4-wheel drive with a diesel power stroke. Robert C. sent this in to us. This is sort of this Class C been chopped into a Turducken mobile with the motorcycle that goes in the back. So in my mind, this definitely qualifies as Turducken, and it's a really cool mod of a Class C. You know a man loves his motorcycle when he gives half of his RV to his bike and takes the other half for himself. I'm not sure what's going on with this military Turducken, but it seems like they're taking some kind of side-by-side and getting it inside some sort of troop transport. I wasn't in the military. Maybe one of you guys out there can tell me what's going on here. And thank you for your service. Tom H. sent this video in to me. It's actually Casey Liddell. He's a tow operator and sometimes snow winter recovery YouTuber. He's got a bit of an attitude, but he's fun to watch. And here's a video he threw up.
What are these guys even doing? This guy's pulling a car with this. This guy's pulling doubles up here.
Again, there'll be a link for Casey Liddell at Cascade Towing in the description. Now, who knows what's going on here? Wayne W. sent this in. He was a little confused himself. You've got this beautiful Class A, and it's got this trailer with this old pickup truck with this old camper on top. You got to wonder who's towing it for what. And then if you look closely, there's something really bad about this picture. It's missing a tire in the back. I'm hoping they weren't driving on from here without fixing that tire. Todd in Cabo sent this. This is a nice, cool old rig. Like I always say, RVing is as old as vehicles themselves. James R. spotted this one on Highway 5 in Northern California. Looks a little wobbly. This was sent to us by Kevin V. He spotted this in Linden, Washington, just a couple of days ago. It's got a camper embedded inside the fire truck, and it also has a trailer on the end. So we got a little fire truck turducken going on here. He also pointed out that they too, like my wife and I, have had tandem bike turducken. And that's where you have a tandem bike, and they even added a trailer to that and another trailer to that. Looks like a lot of fun, but I wouldn't want to have to take any tight turns with that setup. Brian and Tammy P sent this in. They took this 1980 24-foot cavalcade. They kept the original camper frame. They gutted the inside down to the studs, cut it in half, and then basically moved the back wall up to making a short little camper with a rear deck to hand their crawlers. They made a crawler hauler out of this RV trailer. It has the original mini bathtub. They added a futon bed, a kitchen counter. It's got a mini fridge and a microwave. He's going to try to send us some inside finished photos, but still, it looks like a great idea. Brad and Judy sent in their crawler hauler setup here. They've got an old Cushman scooter and a Polaris quad, so they always carry those around. Plus, you can see they got that jet ski on the back. Brad says that his wife and him enjoyed the shows, and they subscribed after the first one they watched. So be like Brad, and don't forget to subscribe, everybody. I saw this little weird setup where I guess this is a rollback. I was kind of wondering how he got that car up on the back there. We got the reverse car on the tow truck turducken here. And this desert turducken, let me guess, this guy's going out to Moab. I'm pretty sure I have a picture right in front of this very same arch. I'll see if I can find it. That truck is carrying a whole lot of fun. Terry and Tiki sent this in, this green beast that they found in Red Deer, Alberta. They saw it in a mall parking lot, and they thought we'd love to see it, so we actually took a U-turn just to get these photos for us. Thanks a lot, Terry. You actually saw it again heading to Calgary on Highway 2. And here you've got this bus that's been cut up to be basically a hauler, and it can tow a trailer. Looks like it's on its way to pick up some stuff. And I see they got an air conditioner on top. I'm wondering what that inside must look like in that little bus chamber. Maybe just a little mini RV setup, who knows? Dawn and Dawn saw this out in Oregon on I-84. They were just passing the Weatherby Rest Area in Eastern Oregon. Again, I really love these crawler haulers. Even though I don't have any crawler to mount on the back, I just love the idea. And finally, we got Brian G, who sent us in this Ford limo with a camper on the back, and it has a bike on the front. This thing's lifted and ready to roll, and I'm afraid, I gotta do it, I'm sorry, this one is gonna get the RVing with Joe Tip of the Hat Gold Star Award for being the coolest Ford in this episode. Thanks for sending it in, Brian. I'd love to know who owns this. Yeah, I found this one online. I think I found it in the crawler hauler group. It's actually a crawler hauler, but it's a boat hauler. So this person took this RV and actually made it into a boat hauler. I'd love to see them dock and undock this one in person. Lee S sent this in. This camper van is kind of interesting in that it has a VW Bug attached to the top, facing the other direction. So it's a bit of an amalgam. I was in the Crawler Hauler Facebook group when I saw this one for sale. I haven't gotten in touch with the seller, so I'm not going to put their name here. But if you're really interested in wanting to buy this, I think it's out in Texas, head on over to the Crawler Hauler Facebook group. And when you go in there, you'll see the person trying to sell this thing. Here we've got a big beefy turducken. But I really like here is we've got the pop-up on top of that gooseneck trailer, and it's actually flipped 90 degrees. So it opens up sort of over the roadway as opposed to over itself. Real interesting idea. And then, of course, he's got some monster crawler machines on the back there. I'm sure that truck is not even challenged towing that thing. And here we got another traditional crawler hauler. Again, I know I'm fascinated with these things, but I just really like them. They seem like a real healthy form of turducken. So now I have to get a crawler, I guess, so that I can put a crawler on my crawler hauler. My wife's going to smack me upside the head when she hears that.
Snap out of it!
And finally, here we've got a truck pulling some kind of fiberglass trailer that has flat towing a smart car. I didn't even know you could flat tow a smart car, but this guy got a shot of one, so I guess you can. Maybe if it's a manual transmission. Wade and Melody set this in. It's a nice, healthy turducken, fairly long. It's got that side-by-side on the back of the truck. That keeps things kind of tight. You don't have that double trailer kind of setup waggling around in the background, so I kind of like the idea of tightening it up like this, using the back of a heavy-duty truck to carry the side-by-side. Good job there, Wade. Conversely, you got this turducken. Now this turducken only worries me is, can you imagine driving this down the road and not even seeing your third trailer in your mirror? Feels kind of awkward. Maybe they got a backup camera on that second trailer. I think I would put one there. But otherwise, how are you going to even know if this trailer is bouncing around or you lost the trailer? And in fact, in a minute, I'm going to show you a turducken that did lose the trailer. And here, Tim J sent us a John Deere turducken. That's right, it's got the John Deere trailer, it's got the tractor, it's got the trailer with a whole nother seat, and then it's got that tub in the back. I'm guessing this is for picking fruit or something. Don't really know the setup, but it qualifies as turducken. And I know earlier I said, putting a side-by-side in the back of a heavy-duty truck's a good idea, but this is flipping it on its head. Here they took a full pontoon boat, put it on what doesn't look like that heavy-duty of a truck, and they're towing it behind a Class A. I guess this works, but it just looks so top-heavy, like that thing would just flip over. And I still wonder, how do they get that pontoon boat off the truck and into the water? But hey, at least they got those yellow straps in the back, and with those yellow straps, that's not going anywhere. Thanks, Ken, for sending this in. It's left me a little confused. And technically this isn't an RV, but we might have seen photos of this before. This is when they're moving really big transformers. Big power transformers require so many tires in such a huge truck that they end up making not a turducken, but a turtrucken. Take a look at this big old monster rig. I've seen other ones where they'll have 2, 3, 4 trucks in the back pushing it along. And I mentioned this one earlier. Here we've got a Turducken where on the back of the fifth wheel trailer, they've got a whole nother flat trailer with a bunch of ATVs on it. But somebody wasn't paying attention when they were hitching up. These became disconnected. Can you imagine driving down the road and having them disconnect? And would you even know if you're on a Turducken setup, on a double toe setup like that? If you don't have a camera or some kind of alarm and the back just breaks away and starts drifting off, how would you even know? It does look like they started pulling over towards the end, so they seem to figure it out. And luckily, these just went along the guardrail and didn't crash. But I was just waiting for this thing to hit the guardrail and flip over. All those ATVs and quads just getting thrown about. That would suck. So make sure you hook up your damn trailers. Make sure those safety chains are on there. Clearly they weren't here. At least the safety chains will keep that trailer from drifting off. And you'll know pretty quickly when that trailer starts dragging on the ground that you've got something wrong back there. That's just crazy. And Chris S., who actually runs the COA down there in Vegas, he sent this to me. This is a classic American Turducken there. You can see where this person has got their Class A. If they don't want to drive their Class A, they can drive their truck. If they don't want to drive their truck, they got their golf cart. It's sort of like 3 versions of the same thing though, right? It's not like they got a boat or a side-by-side. Like this thing is just different ways of driving around on pavement. But I do miss having a golf cart at the RV parks. That's always fun. Make me feel like I'm a little kid again. Leah sent this in. This is a picture of her son's rig, who wants all his toys when he goes on vacation, clearly. And Zach sent this in to us. His Turducken is a 72 Mustang and Lightning McQueen golf cart being towed by his 2004 National Tropic T396. That's a whole lot of wheels going down the road. Take it slow, take it safe. And I spotted these Turduckens on the Crawler Hauler Facebook page. These are wild. You know they build them bigger in Texas. Ed K sent this in to us. This is the RV frame with cab over to carry his buggy. It's an RV frame with a cab over camper and an off-road buggy all strapped together. He's ready for an off-road trip to Red Rock Canyon Off-Road Park in Southern California. I dug out some different ones here, not necessarily RVs, but when you just go to truck-only Turduckens, you can get all kinds of interesting stack jobs from around the world. This one's got a tractor pulling a flatbed with a flatbed truck on top of it and a stake bed truck on top of it, and it looks like some kind of smaller commercial truck stacked on top of it. That's a whole lot of Turducken. Same thing here. You've got this flatbed truck with another flatbed on top of it and another flatbed on top of that, and then number 4 up there, you got a car. This is car truck Turducken, and it seems like there's some official there in the picture who's taking note. You ever wonder how you got your RV trailer? Well, this is how RV trailers are born. After mommy trailer and daddy trailer get together, they make these baby trailers, and the stork delivers them to your nearest dealership. That's right, a lot of times these smaller RV trailers will be stacked on these long beds, and this was its own form of trailer Turducken. I imagine this would work too if you had a really big family. Everybody gets their own RV. You ever seen these rolling down the road? This is a tractor on top of a tractor on top of a tractor on top of a tractor. That's how they deliver them. They have these custom couplers to couple them all together and transport them like this. It's amazing it's legal, but I'm guessing it's safe. And here's some more interesting delivery Turducken. I'm guessing these are a couple of trailers that are being delivered to RV dealers. There's a whole network of people around the country that are just driving these trailers around, which is good because who really wants their trailer towed on the road directly, right? You want to break in that axle, break in those brakes. And you don't want some delivery guy out there going hard on your brakes before you end up buying the trailer. So I like this. I'm hoping my trailer was delivered like this. And Gordon H sent this in to us. You saw this on his trip to Dallas next to a Cracker Barrel in 2018. If you're going to put a pop-up on a trailer, I like the idea of flipping it 90 degrees like that so you take up side space rather than forward and back space. Love these custom trailers. And he found this other one out in the Thumb area of Michigan. Yeah, I've seen a lot of crawler haulers like this where people are taking buses and just cutting them in half. You've seen on my previous videos. There's a whole Facebook group called Crawler Haulers if you want to see more of these types. The buses are a real popular configuration. And thanks to Tyler for sending in another example of a bus converted to a crawler hauler, as well as this custom job where you've got a fifth wheel getting pulled by a full commercial truck with a side-by-side on the top. Another classic Turducken. clearly you got to get that trailer off before you bring that side-by-side down. That makes sense. Let's take a look at some RV and trailer turduckens, which goes all the way back to the 70s.
2 tons of travel trailer, 1,500 pounds of camper, 4,500 pounds of boat. This is a Travel-All wagon. Travel-All, built on a truck-style chassis with the beefier engines, drivetrains, and cooling systems you need to haul something big up a mountain.
And we wonder, where do people get these ideas? Apparently people have been towing turduckens long before I was even born. And commercials like that don't help. Lee S. sent us this. It's sort of a meme-ified pic. It's a crawler hauler, right? Looks like it's a 5th-wheel crawler hauler setup. Andre K said he's got to load his firewood into the blue trailer, his generator in the small trailer, and then he's heading off to go fishing. Boy, it takes a lot for you to go fishing. I hope you're camping as well with all that. We've got this from Earl P. in North Carolina. They sent us this rig of theirs. It's quite a long rig, although this person said they're a Ford person. They couldn't find a Class A with a Ford engine, so they had to go with a Cummins diesel. But it looks like they're towing a Ford, and then they've got this cool golf cart. This thing is beast going down the road. My gosh, I wouldn't want to have to do a roundabout with this. Thanks for sending it our way, and be careful out there with that big rig. And this one was sent to us by one of our big fans, Chris Spencer. He actually manages the Vegas KOA, or KOA, as I was recently corrected in the comments. I shouldn't be calling it KOA, it's KOA. But Chris sent us this cool turducken that he spotted. And Chris, you're an authority on this. Can I call it KOA or is it KOA? Comment below. Cody P wanted to share with us his turducken rig. And that's a 2021 Ram 2500 6.4 Hemi, pulling a Jayco Eagle, pulling a 14-foot trailer. That's hauling his 2018 Polaris RS 1000. Oh my gosh. This picture is the first time he was pulling the setup. He was going to Mudfest in Hillman, Minnesota for Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure that tow job was a big hit at Mudfest. The question is, do you take the trailer mudding or just the ride in the back? I want to see you take that trailer mud next. Justin P. from Toronto was coming home on Pennsylvania through the upstate area of New York on I-90 and saw this interesting rig. He said he wasn't sure if it was turducken. I would say it is turducken. I've never seen one of those 3-wheelers towed backwards like that. I guess it works. And an old colleague of mine, Bill G., posted this on his Facebook. It was a picture he found from somebody else's post. He called out the extreme stacking skills here these folks have. And of course, they got it all strapped down with the other straps, so that ain't going nowhere. I zoomed in on it. I don't think this is Photoshop. This is real crazy. Kyle J took this picture a while back. Thought he'd share it with us. Thought we'd enjoy it. Yep, that's a crazy one. Again, like other ones, I wonder how they get the boat off the truck. Peggy I sent this to us from Mistletoe State Park in Georgia, where they saw this turducken pass by their campsite. Thanks for grabbing the photo. Pete F said he's enjoying our RVs Gone Wild videos from Mission. That's local. That is my neighbor, Pete. Bro, see you down the street. And he saw this rig in southern Alberta. He says he doesn't know if this qualifies as turducken, but it sure is long. Yes, this is definitely turducken. It's sort of like commercial turducken. Actually, in a few videos ago, I did a whole bunch of ones on these long-ass trucks. I mean, they can push it far beyond any RVer. And here's a turducken that we saw on our way home on our most recent camping trip. If you haven't seen the video for my camping trip, I'll put a link for it right here. And this guy was staring at us wondering, why are we recording him? Ron H. from Iowa wanted to share his turducken with all of us. It's his 2024 Ford F-250 pulling a 2023 Jayco Eagle HT, pulling his 2017 Polaris Ranger. Sweet rig. And Veronica G., she wanted to share her friend's Paul's turducken. He travels around North Florida and the southern states. I guess he attends and records a lot of mud rallies. So thanks, Veronica and David, for sending this in. Tim M. sent us his rig. It's a 2019 Ram 3500 HD, pulling a 2017 StarCraft 25 RES and his 2023 Polaris General XP on a car trailer. He likes to go out to the desert in Southern California, but he's been out to Utah too. He's out of Santa Clarita, California. Ryan Johnson from ATV Safety Training, he's a big fan of the channel. We really got to meet up soon. And here he has a sort of turducken where he's got to mount a bunch of ATVs on the back of his truck while still bringing his trailer as he goes around and teaches AT safety around British Columbia. Cyril and Mary Jo, they're from Thunder and Lightning Go RVing. This is their rig leaving Rapid City, South Dakota last Christmas after Mary got her knee replacement. As soon as the doctors cleared her for work, they were out on the road.
What they want to do is build a custom bed on the back of that heavy-duty truck, and that way they can put the Jeep on top of the truck and only be towing the one single trailer. Makes sense, makes it a little shorter, a little easier to handle. And I'm sure that rig is banned from some states, as it currently is.
I want to thank John H. for sending in these photos. This is his 2002 F-250 and his vintage 1979 slide-in camper. He says he's too old for pull-down steps, so he made a utility trailer as a pull-behind deck. He says he watches every episode, and that's what gave him the idea. Really want to thank you for watching the videos, John, and I'm really glad you were able to get some ideas from it. And thanks for sending us the pictures.
George M. wanted to share with us his 3 summertime fun builds. He loves watching our channel with his kid. Yep, George, pasting these all together is definitely some old school turducken. I love the bike on the back. And he wanted to thank us for making the videos. Well, I want to thank you and everyone for watching. I really enjoy all the feedback I get. If you have any comments, comment below. Tell me what you think of the channel or what you'd like to see on the channel. Or you can send me your comments to RVingWithJoe@gmail.com. Herb S. wanted to share with us his Mississippi turducken. He's down in Biloxi. I love that town. Had a great experience when I had a tire blow out in Biloxi. Had a local tire repairman fix me up and get me out the door real quick. I'll always remember Biloxi is a good town. Jennifer M. wanted to share their turducken. They actually go drag racing with a family of 4. So they got their 2012 Ford F-350 that pulls their 2010 36 fifth wheel camper and their 2023 25-foot enclosed trailer. They get some pretty crazy looks when they roll around there. Yeah, racing rigs always get wild. You got a lot to bring out to the track. Mike C. wanted to share his turducken. I'm not totally sure what we got going on there, but it looks like we got some boats strapped to the top of the RV with a whole lot of straps, so that's not going anywhere. Monty P. He's from Alberta. He's a local Canadian. He's been to BC quite a few times camping. He's out sometimes with his quads, sometimes with his 16-foot jet boat from the Fraser-Harrison River. That's right around our area. Kootenay Lake, where I just was. He built the quad deck back in 2007. Monty P's got everything. He's got the quads, he's got the boat, he's got the 3,000-watt Honda generator. That's what I got too. Great minds think alike. But the coolest thing that Monty included was a video. I've been asking recently, for these people who put their boat over their truck, how do they get it off? Well, he included this great long, slow video that shows it coming down slowly off the ramps with a winch at top. Clearly there's extra wheels on the trailer to make it all work and come down in a clean manner. Now it makes sense. So when you see these folks who put a boat on the back of their truck and then they're towing a trailer, you wonder how they're going to get the boat off? Here's how. Monty gets a lot of attention when he pulls into campsites, I bet, with a rig like this. I hope we cross paths out there, Monty. Let's stay in touch.
Found this one on the internet. You got a whole lot of wheels. And I like the way he just dropped that industrial box right there on the back. Why build it when you can just take something prefab and drop it in? And we got another turducken. I'm not sure if I've shown this one before. It looks a little familiar. But on this one, it just seems kind of weird because the car's backwards. And I still get to wonder, how do they get the car off? If they got ramps, it's got to be pretty long ramps for being up that high. Thanks to Gina C. for sending us her turducken. This is a pop-up turducken with a golf cart, so a little different flavor. Gina calls this setup White Betty with Black Betty in the back, pulling a Rocky. She lives in Michigan and she actually rides solo. This will be her first adventure with the whole gang. And Gladys, she included a picture of her tiny house travel rig carrying with their side-by-side they put on top of their truck. So it's a side-by-side on top. They've already put 30,000 miles on traveling like this. It looks really cozy and classic. If ever a home on wheels, that looks like one of them. Thanks to Gladys and Ray for sending this one in. And this one is actually Holly Fowler, an off-roader who has this crazy rig called Mischief Maker. If you follow Matt's Off-Road, she's part of that sort of group of friends. I actually had the honor of meeting her when I was at the off-road games last year with Matt's Off-Road and all the rest of those teams, Fab Rats and that. She had a booth set up and she absolutely fell in love with my dog Lizzie. So she sat there and hugged Lizzie for 5 minutes while we talked. Definitely an awesome crawler hauler. And this one was not going to fly in Queensland. That's down in Australia. Brad S. sent us some various pictures. A couple of these he saw on Facebook Marketplace. I guess we got yet another van that's been converted into a trailer. I remember when people used to do this with pickup trucks, but now it seems to be common with vans. And it makes sense. He also spotted this on I-84 outside of Boise. Definitely a turducken. And he also found this one online, which I don't know what hybrid situation we got going on here. Apparently it has over 14 different makes and models cobbled together into one vehicle. And Craig B sent this to us, a link to these guys who were stuck in the middle of the desert with a broken trailer. And once they take this trailer and put it on top of another trailer to get out of the desert, well, that's desert turduckens.
On to the trailer. We're out here with Desert Run. He has had a problem today, so we're out here helping them out, and gonna try and weld that tongue up probably tomorrow, hopefully tonight, probably tomorrow. Not only has the tongue broken, but the jack behind it, I removed the chock, and it caused the jack to go down. So we have to lift it up and then tow it on to the trailer. That's the task at hand. Okay, it's hot and there's very little wind, but we got water, a dog, and lovely Holly with us today to get this going.
I want to thank Clive R for sending us this construction turducken. There's quite a lot hanging off here. I wouldn't begin to count the number of wheels on this trailer. And Christina B spotted this in July in Casper, Wyoming. Thanks for sending it this way, Christina. TJ sent us his buddy from Boise, Idaho. Apparently he says it's Boise, that there's no Z in Boise. He's got a Chevy Duramax with an 18-foot camper for his dirt bike trailer. Apparently he takes it in ridiculous places. He says he loves the channel and we love you watching. Thanks for sending this our way, DJ. Sam S sent us this turducken. It's like low wind resistance turducken. He's from Ellington, New York. Thanks for sending it our way. Jay sent us this turducken. He says he loves the boondock in the deserts of Nevada, California, Utah, and he watches and subscribes to our channel. Thanks a lot. Don't forget to subscribe. And this is his 2004 Dodge Cummins that he pulls a 78 six-pack camper with his ATV and geo-tracker. That's a beautiful set of turducken. And yes, you RV in some of my favorite places too. That's what I love about BC too, is it reminds me of the Southwest, only there are trees instead of desert. But there's no people, and that's the important part. David C, he says he loves the channel. Thanks for watching. And he wanted to send us a picture and video of his RV. Like we've got a Class C, and we got a smart car on the back. Is that a smart car on the back? And then a boat behind it. I like it. It's like a compact form of turducken, a real efficient form of turducken. Good job. Edwin T sent us a bunch of different things. I hope I got this all straight. He's got a turducken that's his cousin Darren's. He's got another cousin Darren. Nope. He's got a cousin Darren, other turducken. I guess other turduckens, not other cousins. I guess his one cousin has multiple turduckens. Oh, it's complicated. And he's got another video of his turducken. And including these old YouTubes he sent me that I copied down that are his old turducken. That's a lot of turduckens, Edwin. I hope I got them all right. If I didn't, you can clear it up in the comments for everybody. Thanks for sending it my way. Now here we move on to HL. He says greetings, and he saw this up in Fairbanks, Alaska. It's a camper shell, a flatbed travel trailer with a deck and an AC, no less. He said it obviously made a long trip to get there. I think it's being towed by a Toyota Corolla. Man, that transmission must be on fire. But hey, he made it there. Good for him. I like the devotion to barbecuing. With that kind of weight problem, and he has a full-size barbecue on the back. I think I might go compact in that department. Thanks, HL. I'm not sure if I would qualify this as turducken, but with that barbecue has wheels on it, so I think we'll call it turducken. John and Melissa, they've traveled all over the U.S. with this setup and done a lot of off-roading and wanted to share their rig with us. It looks pretty. Thanks for sending it our way, you two. And while we were gassing up, we ran across some folks who had just watched our videos. They wanted to say hi, and I said they definitely qualified as turducken. Even though it's a little small, it still counts. So I decided to take a picture. And if you guys see this, hey, thanks for saying hi. I definitely endorse the Starlink, which is what they came up asking us about. If you're not sure what I mean, I'll put a link here to my Starlink video talking about how I have it mounted in my truck and not my trailer. Thanks for saying hi, you guys. Safe travels. Mark M says it's not his photo, but he saw it on Facebook and he thought of us. Looks like it's a fellow Arizonan. He's from Pine Top, Arizona. And Matt H wanted to show us not only his rig, which isn't exactly turducken, but he wanted to show us the turducken he does see in Colorado. I was just in Denver. Man, you guys drive fast in Colorado. I know British Columbia's made me soft. Oh, whew, fast drivers.
What are those things? Were those the other cars?
Robert from Mississippi. He's got his 1995 F-350 4x4 with his 1987 Suzuki Samurai on the back and his 2024 7X14 trailer, soon to be converted to a camper. Well, Robert, when you're done there in Mississippi, make sure you send us a picture of the final product when you make that a camper. Hopefully you got some good ideas from this channel. Stephen P. sent this our way. He doesn't know much about it. He just saw it in the parking lot and thought it'd be good for this channel. Thanks for sending it our way. Yeah, that's a big one.
That's what she said.
Michael, please.
And here's one I spotted on Facebook. Look at that Wonder Bread monster truck on the back. That is crazy. I would love to drive a monster truck like that just once. Warren D. from South Africa shared with us these couple of pics of his Turducken going over one of the highest gravel passes in South Africa, Nod's Neck. And the next pics he sent was his creation out of a rooftop tent and an ex-bike trailer that he put it all together. He actually tows this trailer with the tent pitched. Probably not on the freeway. Warren and some of my best friends are South African.
Alan G wanted to show off his Turducken. It's a 2021 GMC 2500 Denali with a 1995 Shadow Cruiser. They were returning to Sierra Vista, Arizona from picking up a 1959 John Deere 530 tractor and some other treasures they found in Iowa and Minnesota. They were stopped at a Love's on Interstate 8 in Omaha when they took these photos. Thanks, Alan and Donna. And Bonita N sent us this. It's a bus towing a car, or is it an SUV or a minivan? I don't know, but it's Turducken. She says she really enjoys these videos. She's an avid RVer, and this is her first submission. Well, Bonita, keep those submissions coming. Brad S., he spotted this in Jerome, Idaho. He was turning off the 93 on a detour to get to the I-84, and he saw this. And I want to thank Brian W. for sending in this Turducken. Brian J. sent us this Turducken. I've actually shown this one before in episodes way back, but it's such an oldie but a goodie, I thought we'd show it again. Thanks for sending it in, Brian. And here's something different from Carlos B. It's Boat Turducken. He actually spotted this on a cruise ship in Alaska, and it's a boat towing a boat towing a boat. Even boats can make Turducken. Gordon T. wanted to show this one off. He just finished the trailer. It's ready for paint. He says he's a big fan of the channel. And he's out there in Bend, Oregon, the land of Casey Liddell.
I definitely do hate Casey Liddell.
It's looking good, Gordon. Thanks for sending it in. And the user High Latitude saw this one in Tuk, Alaska. He calls it basic Turducken. Yeah, I'd say so, but still got a lot of wheels on that Turducken. James and Jessica, they sent this from Twin Falls, Idaho. They wanted to share their RV toy hauler setup. It's their first RV, and they're just getting out adventuring in the beautiful state. They love the show. Keep it up. And I love Idaho. It's a beautiful place to get out. Plus, you've got Oregon, Washington, BC all around you. It's a great place to launch a lot of great trips. Jason J., he wanted to send us this Turducken. It's a little pop-up Turducken. Something tells me this RVer has kids. Jim G. wanted to share his personal Turducken. This is his old Turducken fifth wheel setup. It's 63 feet long. He also included in this picture his new rig. He calls her Tiffany because it's a Tiffin. And they just took this picture last week on their way home from the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion 2024. And Ken Ed wanted to send us a couple of pics of his rig. It's a 2014 Outlaw 37 LS. They call her Kanga, and they keep a Smart 4.2 called Rue in the back. They travel 6 to 8 months a year. They carry the car inside the back. He says he averages about 23 miles per gallon. They also travel with their 3 kittens, Tigger, Eeyore, and Pooh. And Kenneth sent us this one. It's a smart car parked on the back of a heavy-duty truck towing a fifth wheel. It's quite a common use of the smart car to stick it on the back of a heavy-duty transport. It's certainly got the room and the capacity. And we got more Turducken with Kim M. She writes, "Hey Joe, we watch your YouTube channel all the time and love it. This is their rig. We were just leaving the house in Almonte, Ontario, Canada, heading to Pulltown, Bowling Green, Ohio for the National Truck and Tractor Pull Championship. Looks like we got another Canadian in the house. It's a beautiful rig. Love that tow vehicle." And another Canadian, we've got Marcel P. This is a couple of pics of their setup of their old Power Ram with the newer Ram, and they are from Abbotsford, which is really close to here. It's actually where I store my RV, and it's where Woody's RV World is. Richard B. wanted to share his turducken. He's a fan of the videos, and he just wanted to share. I do wish I could carry a golf cart with us when we go to these trips, but I ain't towing no turducken. Today asks, hey Joe, does this count as turducken? If you gotta ask, it probably is. He actually has an amphibicar on a flatbed behind his Thor Vegas, so it's an RV, a trailer with a boat car, as well as some bikes. I definitely say it's turducken. Good Lord, Tina O shared this with us. She saw it posted in her Coleman Lantern Facebook group. I gotta believe that trailer loaded in the back is bigger than the actual RV itself. I'd almost swap those two out. That's some crazy turducken. All right, and speaking of unsafe turduckens, Brian J sent us this. He calls it redneck turducken. This is just not cool. I mean, it's one thing if you're going across town, but I would not take this at a high speed. Be careful out there, folks. When you watch my videos, definitely take them as great examples of what not to do. And David and Gamble. What a cool name, Gamble. David and Gamble sent this to us. They said they love the channel and want me to keep up the good work. And they wanted to share with us their boondocking toys, a 92 F350, a 97 Jayco Hawk, and an 06 Rhino. They said it tows nicely, but they've definitely maxed out their payload. They said it still stops on a dime. And that goes to tell you, it doesn't matter what your truck can pull, it matters what your truck can stop. And that's why you have gross combined weight ratings. And some people have criticized me lately for calling things like this turducken. But when you're stuffing wheels inside wheels and then towing wheels, it's turducken. It doesn't have to be a double trailer. I just like to see a whole lot of wheels. My channel, my rules. Eric S. here, he writes, he enjoys our show immensely. Thank you very much for watching. And here's a righteous example of turducken spotted in a Micro Pro parking lot. It's in West Michigan, I guess. Camped there for a couple of days. Thanks again, Eric, from Muskegon, Michigan. Did I say that right? Muskegon? And Freedom GD10, he saw this poor guy broke down on the side of the road near Carbondale, Colorado. That is a crazy custom rig. I'm guessing that's a trailer that's attached. It looks really close to the truck. At least he's got that generator. It looks like he's going to be there for a while. Thanks to Ray and Bonnie Q for sending this in. He saw this on I-66 in Gainesville, Virginia. All right, Pat M sent us in a bunch of pics. This is gorgeous. His homemade toter home with his teeter-totter trailer, he calls it. They built this entire rig in 2018 prior to its maiden voyage to Alaska. Approximately 70,000 miles on it since they've been traveling around the U.S. They live half the year in northwest Montana, and they travel the other 6 months. But they're not alone. They wanted to include some of their other heavy-duty tow friends they travel with. He says his bride and him enjoy the videos, and I really appreciate you guys sent this in. I always say get out there and get busy living. Looks like you guys are ahead of the curve on that one. Thanks. And I like this little ATV turducken. You got Mama ATV, Daddy ATV, and Baby ATV. A family that off-roads together stays together. Alberta was just filled with turduckens. A good friend of mine, Amber K, she actually took this photo in Hinton, Alberta. It's snowmobile turducken. Renee M spotted these turduckens on some webpage, saved out the file, thought of us. Renee enjoys RVs Gone Wild, and we enjoy you folks sending in these pictures. Thanks for sending these in. And if you have cool pictures or videos, you can always send them to RVingWithJoe@gmail.com. I really love it when everyone sends them in. I can't use everybody's, but I try to use them all, and I definitely read them all. Ryan D spotted this turducken at the Walmart in McCook, Nebraska. Terry M wanted to send us this. He said it was a little overweight and a little overloaded, I admit, but it's also quite a great example of turducken. An example of what not to do. There's no way that truck is rated for that load. Preppy sent this in. He saw it on eBay. Apparently it's about to be sold. I don't think it'll make it by the time I publish this. It's basically a travel trailer attached to a commercial truck. Love this idea. I love taking a beefy commercial truck that'll never die and just putting an RV on the back of it. Just take those wheels right off and mount it up. And here we got ambulance turducken, and certainly somebody lost their job here. I mean, come on, man, it's just some yellow straps on the wheels to keep something like this from happening. I wish I could see the end results, but the video cuts off. I can't imagine that ambulance came to a stop in any good way. And Brett S., he sent this in from Steinatchee, Florida, just before Hurricane Helene. Apparently the tidal surge came in 5 foot deep here at this campsite, so it's a good thing that they got out, they got no damage, and drove back to Georgia with this rig. It's a beautiful rig, and I'm really glad they got out of harm's way. Dennis sent this in to us. He found this on YouTube. You know, there's a lot of ways to load up a trailer with all kinds of rigs. This one looked like it took a lot of extra work. I almost wonder if it would have been better just to tow that trailer with an extra truck. Check it out. And here's a beautiful turducken. I might have shown this one before, I'm not really sure, but I spotted it recently online and thought I'd share it with y'all. It's a big old truck, a big old RV, and a big old pontoon boat in the back. Watch out for them wide right turns. Dustin and Carla sent this in. This is their turducken. Funny, when I first saw this picture, I thought, like, how do they have the sign loaded on the trailer? Then I figured it out. The sad part here is they can't see that small trailer in the back behind their big one, and this is what happens when you don't realize you have a flat tire. And Dustin and Carla also sent us their nephew's rig. It's not quite turducken, I'd say it is. This one's not quite as elegant as the rest. I'm glad he figured it out. John G., he posted this. He's calling it car ducking. He said it was the only way to get both cars moved off a property that sold. They had to be moved that day, and sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I'm sure that's what you got to tell the local sheriff when he pulls you over and you say, hey, I got to do what I got to do. Oh, well, if you got home safely, good on you. And this one comes from Junkman. Junkman says this is his turducken. Inside that cargo trailer is an Arctic Cat 500 side-by-side. It's a nice rig. Still wonder if it's legal, but hey, if it's safe and nobody's pulling you over, there you go. My producer included this in the turducken section, and I think it just qualifies with that motorcycle in the back there. Again, it's all about adding up the wheels sometimes. He writes this is his setup. He loves the channel. He's a full-time RVer, a merchant mariner, sailing around all over the world. But when he gets home, he travels around with this setup and rides his motorcycle wherever he goes. He's 60, he's widowed. Sorry to hear that, buddy. And so he doesn't have a home base. He's got 2015 Silverado 3500. He's got 6.0 gas engine there, pulling a 2022 Coleman, and his bike is a 22 KLR 6500 adventure bike. I'm guessing you got to unhook the trailer to get the bike out. All right, Ryan. Ryan sends this in as a turducken. He saw it in Waco at the Walmart. He says they were from Canada. Now, would you consider this a turducken? I'm wondering what's on the front there. That might define it, but I don't know what's attached to the front there. I think we're going to call this borderline turducken, but it's certainly a funky-ass tow job. And nobody should be towing a trailer like that with a car like that. Todd G sent this to us, his turducken. It's got sideboards on the flatbed that also are the ramps for his golf cart. He's got a Harbor Freight Badlands 2500 winch mounted on the front of that flatbed to help load up. He sees a lot of triple tow turduckens around there. And about 80% of the campers here tow a fifth wheel with a trailer and a golf cart. And Todd would like to point out that the real turducken was created in central Louisiana in Cajun country down where he's at. I might have to look that one up.
And a lot of you folks wonder, hey, is it even like legal, or how the heck do I even double tow like this? Check out this video on double towing.
Tips and tricks for double towing. If you're thinking about doing some double towing, I'm going to talk about the things that I've learned and just some tips on how to make it work. And then secondly, I'm going to go into some more pros and cons about double towing versus, say, a toy hauler. They're kind of designed for motorcycles and UTVs. Well, what if you want to bring a boat?
William B. actually built this rack for his cousin to haul his bass boat over the cab of his 450. Apparently it all clears the GVWR on the vehicle. Apparently he does this at Rehorn RV if you're in Sacto, California. He says he loves watching our channel at lunch. Thanks for watching and thanks for sending this in. If you're in Sacto, check out Rehorn RV. And here's a video of a thing called the Hitch Hog, which is double towing a rock crawler. I tried looking to see if these were for sale. I don't think they're for sale anymore. And I'll be honest, when I look at this thing, I think, wow, it's a real interesting kind of dynamic, because normally if you put that trailer on the back of the other trailer, it's going to put downward pressure on the back of the trailer, upward pressure where it connects to the truck, and that can lead to trailer sway. And with this one, basically the rear trailer is putting a downward force on that hitch helper, but it's a fulcrum, right? So that means if it's pushing down on one side, it's pushing up on the other side. If it's pushing up on the other side, that means it's pushing up on the back of the trailer, which means it's pushing down where it connects to the truck, which makes for a more stable ride. That being said, can't find it online for sale. I have a feeling this thing just didn't last in the market. If I'm wrong, send me a link to where you buy this thing. I'd love to check it out. And here's another video where somebody did on their weird bumper pull. And there's a link to all these videos in the description. I thought this one was pretty cool. It was sort of like the perfect capture of the sun and the sunset and the shadow and the turducken. Check out this turducken shadow. As someone who films a lot of YouTube videos, that is what we call the money shot. Hey, don't forget to click like on this video and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. That's the #1 way you can help me out. And if you ever wondered what it's like to pull a turducken, pull one of these double trailers, here's a nice close-up view of a turducken pulling out of the driveway. How long do you think that turducken is? Put your guess below in the comments. I want to see what you think. Brad and Judy sent this in. They were going over Donner Pass on their way to the International Harvester Sierra Fall Rally, and the white Dodge tow rig is on the flatbed. The red tow truck is towing their turducken travel trailer on the side-by-side behind it. Apparently this thing was a long mess, so not the best picture, so I had a hard time making heads or tails. But thanks for sending it in, Brad and Judy. Mike M sent this to us. He says his wife and him love the show, and they watch it every week, especially the turducken portion of the show. They saw this turducken in Ottawa, Ontario, although it's not really RV turducken. It's what he calls bike duckin'. By the way, those wheels and the bearings on those trailers will not keep up to freeway speeds, so I hope that motorcycle is just tooling around town. And here's a nice turducken that's got two side-by-sides on the back. If you count up the amount of wheels and axles that are rolling down the road with this thing, this is some serious heavy-duty turducken. And sometimes you don't find turduckens on the road, sometimes you find them on the farm. And here's some farm trailer and turducken going on right here. Imagine this, you're driving down the road and you see a double tow turducken ahead, and then you think, no, is that two of them? Wait, 3? No, 4? That's right, apparently this is Utah, where we're gonna find a whole lot of off-road turducken. Now, ladies and gentlemen, check this turducken out. I want you to count up how many things are towing what. You got the truck, towing the fifth wheel, towing the trailer. No, it's not towing the car. The car and the trailer are actually following behind, so it's not all connected, but it's still turducken in the front. We got this rest area turducken or something it looks like. You got that Sea-Doo in the back. Funny thing about this turducken is you really want to have sort of a trailer camera set up behind your trailer, because you're not going to see if this thing gets a flat or if you even lose this trailer. It's so small you're not going to see it in your mirrors. And here we got the Blue Boy turducken. That's right, this turducken looks like it's designed for tending to RV park sewage tasks. You got one in the back, one in the middle. That's one way to do your sewer dump. It's time for turducken. It's time. It is time. It's time. A bunch of you love this. A few of you hate this, but it's time for turducken. 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 You know what turducken is. That's where we take a turkey, and inside the turkey we put a duck. Inside the duck we put a chicken. It's a great recipe. It tastes great, but it's a really interesting way to tow.